BFS Wargaming. So I'm going to be doing a little mini series, if you like, on things that I want to see either changed or I think are wrong in 9th edition 40k. Now I want to start off by saying I love 9th edition 40k. I love the rule change, a lot of the rule changes to terrain and other things. I think they've done a really good job, and I really felt they'd done a great job with the first couple of codexes that came out. I was really excited for, although very restricted in a lot of ways. I felt like it was good because it got rid of a lot of the cheesy things that were in 8th edition. So today I want to specifically talk about D3+3 weaponry. Now, a lot of the codexes have the option to take D3+3 weaponry. For instance, Necrons have it, Death Guard have it, and Drukhari have it, Admech have it. So I'm going to talk about basically the fact of the problem with D3+3 weaponry in Drukhari and Admech more specifically, because they can spam it so much. So I do want to say, like, with the Dark Lances, they definitely did need a change. Having one shot with a D6 damage just isn't good enough. Hence why I think las cannons should have changed. I don't think las cannons should be D3+3 because they're too easily spammable in a Space Marine army. But maybe something like 2d3 damage I think would have been quite fair. So with Drukhari and Admech, the problem is because they're so spammable and they're actually pretty long range. So with, for instance, Drukhari, you can get a reroll with Blackheart or a reroll to wound, so to hit with Blackheart or wound to Obsidian Rose. 36-inch range. I think with Obsidian Rose you get plus 6 inches to that. So you can have 42-inch range, D3+3. You can probably get about 20 of them in your list. You know, don't get me wrong, it's probably going to take up a lot of points. You might not want 20. I think 10 on average is probably pretty fair that people would take in a Drukhari list. The problem with D3+3 weaponry is that it negates, I mean, it's just such reliable damage. It's on average 5 damage. You know, you've got these Death Guard Terminators with their -1 to wound and Dreadnoughts with -1 to wound. Well, when you're rolling D6 and D3, stuff like that, it's really good because, you know, there's quite a often chance that that Terminator is going to live. You roll a 3, oh, the Terminator lives because it's -1 damage, or on the Dreadnought and stuff like that. Whereas when you've got such reliable damage like D3+3, it just makes it so, like, you're never getting to use that rule. And my other issue is because you can sit back so far with all these spammable guns with Admech on their chickens or the Iron Strider Ballistari, 48-inch range, 2 shots of D3 +3, and there's no risk. Sit back 48 inches away, boom. Now if you compare this to, say, melter guns, multi-melters, 2 shots, 24-inch range, D6 damage. But if you get within 12 inches, that then goes to D6 +2, which is great because you then have a risk reward. You have to risk getting close, but you get the reward of the extra damage. And I think that's what should be done with these spammable D3+3 weapons. Because with Death Guard, you can have a maximum of 6 on the, because you can only take 3 Plague Burst Crawlers. Haven't got a problem with that. 6 guns, there's no rerolls to hit. They do get rerolls 1s to wound, but I mean, it's not breaking the meta, is it, you know? Whereas when you can 10, 11, 20 of these guns, it's just, and they're hitting reliably, and then the damage is so reliable, they either need to go up in a lot of points. But what I think is there needs to be risk reward. So for instance, if you've got a Dark Lance that's 36-inch range, if it was D6 damage at 36 and then D3+3 at 18-inch range, much fairer. You've got to get close to get that reliable damage, and then them Death Guard can then move up, charge, you know, stuff like that. You've got to get into a bit of a risk, and then you get the reward, which I think is how it should be. I mean, the other thing you could do is change D3+3 to 2D3, for instance, which makes it a lot less reliable. You know, a lot of those things are going to get there to use their -1 damage, and it's just less reliable in general, which as we know with D6 damage, you know, sometimes you can spike it and it's great, sometimes it's terrible. But I don't understand why GW would have just gone, yeah, give that to them, when you look at the other codexes that are fairly restricted, and then suddenly they're giving out just, you can take as many of these really reliable damage guns as you want. It seems like it was like a last minute decision. They were like, just before they printed the codex, they went, let's make them D3+3, see what happens, you know? And I just think it was a crazy, crazy mistake. But there you go. I think the only way to fix it now, unless they're going to change it, is, which I don't think they will be to up the points. Because, I mean, I think it's an extra 10 points on one of the Iron Striders. It's nothing. Like, it's so cheap. I mean, it's just crazy. But what do you guys think? Do you think the D3+3 weaponry is absolutely fine? Do you think I'm talking shit? I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Stay lucky.